Blessed good evening and welcome, morning, afternoon. Welcome to Reasons right here at the Tree of Life. I am Jerome Sage Butler. It's a bright and sunny Friday evening right here in Kingston, Jamaica, representing for the minds and souls of the awakened, seeking awakening in our fellow human beings, asking, sharing, offering these words of offering healthy, mind-clearing words of stillness, stirrings, and awakening. You're watching us on Celia Media. That's on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Continue to like and subscribe, and we do give thanks to the people who have been sharing the information and liking. Today's particular offering will be on mental health, how to maintain a good mental health, at least in my opinion. Over the years in Jamaica, one of the things that have hurt my soul the most is when you're walking along the streets or you're driving along the streets and you see so much mentally challenged individuals, mentally ill individuals that are on the sidewalks, that are in the gutters, in the gullies, in the open lots, in the abandoned buildings, and there's so much pain and hurt, and sometimes the soul is dismayed just to see them. So I've always been hurt, and I've always said to myself I would like to, be able to help. So early on in life I was very interested in psychiatry and basically in using my information, my experience to offer some form of solace, because I realized that all the so-called mentally challenged people, or we'll call them crack or mentally ill people, always seem to take a liking onto my spirit. They always seem to really be at peace with me. As a matter of fact, I would say that I have a cousin that he went mental very early on in our lives, like during my early teenage years. And I could remember every time that he would be in my presence, he would be so lucid. And I remember telling my mother, I said, every time Lincoln is in my presence, his mind is so clear. It's like there's no insanity. And I was always amazed by that reality, and I've always wondered what that was all about. When I got into the company of Sir Benjamin Wilson, call him Benny the Bard, rest in peace, Sir Benny. Sir Benjamin taught me that I had the gift of healing through the psychic, right, or the psychiatric. The psychiatric is a professional term, but through the psyche. He said I really have an innate understanding of the inner souls of people, the inner workings. So he's always saying to me, encouraging me, to talk to some of the young ladies who had the mental issues and, be able to get past the little neuroses and the little psychoses, right? My true desire to help these individuals have shown me that one of the ways that we can maintain good mental health is, first of all, being truly honest with ourselves about the experiences we've had. There are lots of individuals in so many broken homes, and even sometimes the so-called regular homes, that have so much repressed feelings, have so much repressed sense of self. They are wholly pressed down without a true vehicle of expression, without a true vehicle of self projection. So at lots of time they are becoming more insular, locked inside, and the abuse piles up. It becomes more decrepit and more morbid as time goes on, and as the more they are rejected by individuals in their first close environment and then into the communal environment, then it becomes a very difficult issue to handle, and then people begin to move away, and then it gets worse. Clinical attempts over the years, especially through the European culture that we've been taught about, right? Through, I would say, harsh and severe therapy, through shock therapy, the sanatoriums, and the new age kind of asylums that are around. One of the things that becomes very apparent is that the harsh treatment of the mentally ill will not resolve the psychosis. It will not resolve the mental aberrated patterns that's causing misaligned behaviors. The weird thing is that the human persona is such a fixed entity, such a programmed entity. Individuals long to escape it, long for a place within the assemblage point of their consciousness, to truly not be confined or conformed to a lot of these entities. A lot of individuals, beyond the sense of repression, also opens up themselves too much information, too much experiences, and as such, the shifting of the assemblage point to a different point in the sense of consciousness, whether too rapidly or without the correlating experiences, tend to off-balance people's psyches, right? In a layman's term, some people get licked. Some experiences people have been through is so overwhelmingly intense, and I don't just mean the traumatic, I mean people who literally were on their path seeking for knowledge, seeking for self, seeking for experience, and got overstimulated, oversensitized, and the oversensitization has led to a kind of a slow degeneration in the sense of awareness, in the sense of presence. It's almost like dissolving, dissolution of the self into these formless states. Very difficult to maintain formalized interest in a structured environment. Hence, a lot of people tend to, over time reject them, adding to the sorrows. I believe that these individuals should be more in the natural environment, should be treated with love and affection, and as best as one can, one should be able to offer them a mental hearing, an emotional hearing, a space where they can truly express themselves, exercise their mental health, truly strategize their thinking towards repair for those who have had a torn psyche and the torn psychic nature. People who are going through adverse mental conditions need channels, avenues of expression. Facilitate it for the people who put it into the creative energy. That's one awesome avenue, but it's not the only avenue, because I don't believe that psychotropics are the way to go. I don't think disempowered, stoic individual with inert natures is the way of human consciousness. Subduing a human being, to me, does not bring the beautiful nature out in them, doesn't make it visible. I'm not about satisfying the control psychology of people who feel offended by those who are truly disenfranchised by the misalignments in their own thinking or in their own mentals. It's hard enough what they're going through to have to couple that with the judgments of so-called sane individuals is hard. So pushing them to the corner or to the side, ignoring their issues, or pumping them full of drugs is not the way to go. I respect true psychologists and psychiatrists who aren't quick to pump you of these injections and prescribe these thousands of pills, hundreds of pills you have to take on a monthly basis, thousands on a yearly basis, just to controvert your behavior. It's a stiff jacket without straps. It's a control of the mind in the worst way. It's one of the worst imprisonment to see these people just battling with the repression placed on them by the so educated of our societies, who would rather have them chained up in the sanatoriums, allowing them to wallow in filth and all manner of decrepit conditions to satisfy our view of the morbid natures of human consciousness, or the lowest nature of human consciousness. I'm not pleased to see our people in the gutters now, in the alleyways, walking around without a sense of purpose. And not everybody that is out there is some evil, soulless bastard or bastardess who have lost their way. A lot of those people are people who have been hurt, psychic, psychological, even evil, spiritual trauma, demonic possessions, you understand me? Envy and jealousy converting itself into these mental conditions, creating these mental case. A lot of these psychologists, I mean, not lick on them, but guess what? I have to burn the fire clearly for things to be obvious. A lot of psychologists are benefiting materially from the sorrows of others. I rather people care about truly seeing, and I would never call people patient, seeing these individuals truly happy, seeing these men and women, these children truly happy to experience life. Is life just about the stratifications you create? For God's sakes. If we were all so cold-hearted mentally to not understand the divergence in mental health, some of the most brilliant writers, orators, thinkers, painters, dancers, actors would have never gotten their light of day, because you would have killed them. You would have murdered them with so much other you've called heretics and so much others you've called enemies of the state and problems to society. Like the Spartan culture that throws the handicap to the furnace, a wanton slaughter of so-called imperfection. Oh my God, people, we are truly hurting ourselves. It's the reflections of what's inside. It's what's happening to us that's reflecting in the unsound health, unsound mental health of a lot of individuals. We are pushing them into almost untenable, unlivable conditions. We're driving people to the edges of their sanity. Insanity is rapacious in the environment. In the psyche, it's a devouring force of morbidity. It's taking over a lot of people's lives. Be more loving, be more understanding, listen more. Give these people more time in your lives. For God's sakes, love your children before they become basket case of tomorrow. Love your children before they really indeed become the basket cases of tomorrow. And you're hurt, and you're broken, and you're traumatized. Can you imagine when you let that light shine in you so as to alight the light in another? You see a different aura, a different glow coming from these souls who are so positioned differently in the psychic consciousness. And there's so much they can offer if we'd only love and let them share their light, share their experiences, listen to their darkness, help them channel from their lowest self. Let them know and see and feel that they're not alone. Pray for them, pray with them. Encourage a spirit of restoration in them, of wholesome living. Strengthen up your mental health. Take long walks in wooded areas away from the contrivance of the cities and the societies. Spend time by the quiet streams, the quiet brooks. Read books of self-help, self-healing, of self and communal harmony. See the beauty in the environment. Be able, for your mental health, to understand the environment is a part of who you are. You are more than just the limited physicalized psychological experiences. There is more to matter than you thought mattered. Get into the greater sense of yourself. Help those who you can, while you can, because in turn you will be helped by the living cosmos. The kingdom, the body of Christ, in all kindred, word and tongue, beyond religious or religiosity. It's not just a word offering. Humans helping humans for more blessed, happy, harmonious mental health. Always share your experiences. Don't bottle them up inside, because there's no benefit in you compressing them, compartmentalizing them, and then at the moment of losing control, they explode, and with it your self-control. And just that one moment of regretful action, you are unable to fix the slinky that's been wound out of balance. It's been bent out of its rhythm. And it's very hard, as they say, to get back that slinky, that mental process into rhythm. But those rhythms and those forms are but one forms, because when an aberration happens, a new form is created, a new point, a new movement in the assemblage point, a new sense of consciousness, of awareness. Continue to help these individuals to harmonize their sense of well-being, to know that they belong, to know that they have a place in our lives, not just when they are our children, not just when they are our parents, not just when they are our loved ones, not just when they are our parishioners or our fellow workers or co-workers, but also just in the context of the entire society. I'm tired, in Jamaica at least, of seeing the mentally ill, mentally challenged, homeless in the gutters, so bewildering to look at them. You can feel their trauma. From a man who was once ignorant to someone who is a little bit more aware, I would say to you, reach out to those who you see suffering from adverse mental conditions. Offer healing. This has been Jerome Sage Butler right here at the Tree of Life, just reminding you to keep a very strong and harmonious mental health. Breathe in that prana of love, the Spirit of the Most High, Divine East, Divine Christ, Divine Yeshua. Let the Most High be imbued in your being. Be light-hearted. Let not things burden your mind or overburden your spirit. Be free. Let go and let God. Let go and let goodness flow, so you do not pile up these things that will become storehouses of pain and suffering. When the problem is a skyscraper big, it's hard to think you can conquer it. So you must compress it, remove it, reduce it, demolish it, slowly bring it down to a modicum of dust, just a speck of dust. Blow it away like chaff in the wind towards wholesome mental health. Remember that you are awesome. Give to yourself, give to your environment. Continue to be this beloved divine gift.